Hello, this is Lolly. I just wanted to take a brief moment to speak about something that came across my desk not too long ago about the rapper V Nasty and the fact that she has chosen to use the N word. I personally find the word very offensive. I do not think it is something anyone should use, to be very honest. It's used to denigrate a race of people, and it's something that's just not acceptable from any perspective, but particularly from a godly one. I also like to shout out to Lashid4u. Wanted to tell you that I find most of the times your videos are dead on. I enjoy listening to you, very intelligent conversation. So thank you. Keep doing what you're doing and just, you know, spreading the knowledge that you have to share with the world. Now back to my bone to pick with the nasty. First of all, not only does she use the N word, she also refers to black women as being wannabe Barbies. Highly offensive. And if you didn't catch that, you may have missed it. Fact of the matter is, she's insulting black women who have chosen to wear their hair straightened, who have also chosen to wear a lighter shade of blonde hair. That's a trend. It has been for a while. Frankly speaking, I don't care how people style their hair. Your hair is irrelevant. It has nothing to do with what's inside your head. If it makes you feel comfortable to wear extensions or weaves or color your hair, which as far as I know, white people have been doing for decades, centuries even, I don't see that as a problem and not really very relevant. We have a lot of people in this country currently starving. Children are going to bed hungry in one of the wealthiest countries in the nation. I think that's more of an issue that we need to focus on, not whether somebody is trying to emulate a white ideal of beauty. We already know that black people have been ostracized, persecuted, and oppressed, and still are to this day. I don't give a crap who's in the White House. It hasn't changed things for the majority of black people in this country. Many people are living beneath their means, and let's not forget, even when you get educated, you don't have a guarantee that you're going to rise to the top of the ranks in the corporate arena. As a black person, I just like to say that most need to get their own. Until we do that, we're not going to ever have a chance to really rise to the top of the food chain. As we already know, socially, black people are at the bottom. And that would be behind all the people who came in here after us. That's not our fault. That is all systematically engineered. There's such a thing as a socialization in place where black people have always been subjected to the stigmatization and naturally been a byproduct of the structuralized racism that is in place and always has been. Black people have always suffered more, gotten less, and been treated as inferior. Didn't even change when black people, black men in particular, but women as well to a smaller extent, decided to let their blood rain in the streets when they served in not only the Civil War but in World War II and all the other wars to come afterwards. When those men stepped off the buses and they came back from overseas, they were reminded once again of the fact that although their blood is red, just like any other man's, that they were still considered second, third class citizens as they had to return and once again be called the N word. And it didn't matter if they wore a uniform or not. In fact, many of the lynchings that took place in the 1940s were found to be ex former soldiers who had served in World War II. So let's just be honest here. V Nasty might want to use the N word, but I beg of you, anyone who thinks she has earned that right and doing a stint in jail for some robbery absolutely does not provide her with that right. I don't like to end anything on a negative note, and I certainly didn't want to get into a rant. I've got a lot of things on my plate right now, but I just had to address this topic because it spoke to my soul. And sometimes in life, you feel like God is putting it on your heart to get it out, and so you choose to do that because you want to listen to the Father. I just want to say one thing. I appreciate all the positive messages that are out there. I think that whether a person is black, white, Asian, Hispanic, or otherwise, It does not give them the right to use a word that has for many decades and centuries been used to insult a people, to marginalize a people, to keep them ostracized, to keep them again at the very bottom of the socioeconomic totem pole. Until the playing field is level, no one has the right to use words that are offensive to others. And frankly speaking, I hope that day never comes. I like to see the time when we don't have people living on the streets, where we don't have children going to bed hungry, and I don't care what the color of the skin is. Unfortunately, however, the majority of the people suffering typically tend to have skin of a darker hue. That's a fact, it's indisputable, and it's there statistically. Therefore, the research has been done. I never say anything that I haven't already researched. Truth is in proof of the pudding. Only 1% of black people are really succeeding in this world and in this nation. There's still so many that are living below the poverty line, who are uneducated, who are going to school in inferior school districts, where they are basically being forced to cheat because of the fact that the people who are so-called educators want to get a bonus in their freaking paychecks. This has got to stop. It's obvious that there is a lot of room for improvement in this country and in this world on the whole. And until we have a level playing field for everyone, it doesn't matter if we have a biracial person in the White House or not, and he's married to a black woman. That is so irrelevant. The fact that the jobs are not there for people who are educated and who are skilled is a factor that is something highly wrong in society. When you have people who are willing and able to work and who want to earn a living, and they want to do it legally as a moral citizen, and they cannot find a position, you have to know that there is room for improvement. And as for anyone, and be nasty, please, you need to take a long look at yourself. Sure, you got a record deal, and we know why. As Lashid4u pointed out, as someone who benefits from the privilege of their color as a white person in a society that is still highly racist, you don't have to have even a modicum of the talent that someone with a darker hue of skin would have to bring to the table in order to earn a record deal. Thus, I think you may need to think about what you're putting out there, because first of all, black women are only trying to look like a Barbie because that's the standard of beauty that they've always been given as being acceptable. And until we learn that there are people out there that don't really have a lower self-esteem for any other reason than they've been told for all their lives that they are less than, there's no room for one to try and denigrate those people. I like to end this with a word to the Father. Thank you, Lord, for giving me another day of life. As I know, and as we all know, no day is promised. We cannot take anything for granted. I want you to always give me the strength and the grace to walk away from a fight, to hold my head up high, even in the face of adversity, and to know that you're going to sustain me, regardless of what the world is telling me. I'd like to wish everyone out there more love than anything, and basically a positive attitude will get you everything. But as long as you put God in front of it, it can't go wrong. With God, all things are possible. And let me just also say that the best thing in this world is to spread love. We only come into this world one time as who we are, and I know it can be tough trying to deal with a lot of the negative rhetoric and trying to deal with the hate that is all around us. But as people who are trying to be positive and uplifting, we cannot succumb to the hypocrisy and negativity. Take care, and God bless.